House Republican lawmakers are all smiles after passing a major defense policy bill known as the National Defense Authorization Act. They were able to add pro-life and pro-family amendments, rolling back several Biden administration policies. But the question is, will they remain in the final bill? For more on that, let's check in with Capitol Hill correspondent Erik Rosales. Erik?
Well, good evening, Tracy. That is the concern of many pro-life lawmakers. The Senate is currently working on its own NDAA, and Democrats are already speaking out, saying that any pro-life provision is a non-starter. Now, House GOP leadership say that their amendments barring the Pentagon policies on abortion access, medical care for transgender troops, and diversity are a major blow to the Biden administration and must be kept in.
Just focus on the military. Stop using taxpayer money to do their own wokeism. A military cannot defend themselves if you train them in woke.
And you don't build a warfighting force by these socially woke, some cases you might say postgraduate seminars in let's see what interesting human theory we can use to experiment on the military.
Democrats argue Republican policies are infringing on the rights of military personnel.
They've used the National Defense Authorization Act to continue their march toward a nationwide ban on abortion care and applying it to women service members.
Congressman Ronny Jackson, a former Navy Rear Admiral and doctor, got his amendment passed, which bars the Defense Department from paying abortion-related travel expenses for military personnel and their families.
Taxpayer money is provided to the DOD and intended to provide for our national defense and our national security. It is not to promote and support the Biden administration's radical, immoral, pro-abortion agenda.
Meanwhile, GOP Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville continues to block more than 250 military personnel from promotions over objection to the abortion policy. The lead Democrat on the Armed Services Committee claims the House passed amendments weaken the military.
The attacks on diversity, the attacks on the trans community, the problems with the abortion policy that was put in there are going to make it more difficult for the military to recruit.
But it was one of the more partisan NDAAs that we've had. But when the bill goes to the Senate, we all know that a lot of those amendments will get thrown out by the Senate because the majority is a different makeup than it is in the House.
The Senate does plan to bring its version of the NDAA later this week. Now, they want it passed and sent to a conference committee before the August recess, which is set to begin next Friday. Tracy?
Erik, I'm going to touch on something else. We know the president of Israel is addressing a joint meeting of Congress on Wednesday, but I hear that some progressive Democrats, they plan to boycott that meeting. What more do you know about that?
Yeah, that is correct. Several members of the Progressive Caucus do plan to boycott. The chair of that caucus, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, criticized Israel as, quote, being a racist state. She has since walked back those comments and even apologized. But Republicans, well, they're calling on Democratic leadership to bring some sort of disciplinary action. During his press conference today, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy gave example after example of House Democrats who made anti-Semitic remarks in the past month.